when Alfred Stieglitz, would go ahead and do his photography of her and her nudes and stuff, and with her art, she goes, back then you had to sit still for like 2 or 3 minutes
Oh,
between each plate. And she goes, and it was so funny in her interview, she's like 97 years old. She's going, you have a little scratch here, a little itch down there. She goes, you have more itchy places than you would think, within those few minutes. So, but, and no, people, you did not stumble into, the Twilight Zone. This is investigative tarot.
keep flowing.
Just having a little bit of fun. Hello, Carmela, my dear. How are you doing? Lurk away, my dear. I know Ramon is at work and he's work lurking. So thanks for hanging out, Ramon. And another shout out. Ramon and I had a great paranormal, para-oracle investigation last night on the Black Monk House. And looking forward to the next. And now Jackie is here with me today to look into something that is a little paranormal in a way. Um, it has to do with a world renowned, but now debunked, spiritual guru cult leader of Carlos Castaneda. And this really took me by surprise because Shan, since I've known Shan, and even before I met Shan, Shan had books by Carlos because he found it a very interesting perspective of, the so-called teachings of this Don Juan. Hello. Hey, girl. Hey. Hello, Fatima. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I got to get used to remembering how to pronounce your name properly. And he's very similar. He's been compared to a female counterpart, Lynn V. Andrews, who did teaching, worked with, allegedly worked with, and she's still alive, working with, Native women from Canada, from the Cree Nation, and she has a whole huge slew of books. But we were surprised to see this video because we hadn't heard about this, and so I asked Jackie if she wanted to take a look at it, at least on focusing on one individual, because we ultimately know somewhat more of her fate. At least they found her. So let me just make sure that we give just a few moments, and let me do my little spiel, Jackie, before I go. But before we get started, the show's all yours.
I'm
Bye.
gonna say, where are you
I'm not going anywhere. So again, it's been a while since we've done one, but I like to reiterate that this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Um, this is just Jackie and I looking at the cards to see if we could find what happened to Patricia Lee Partin. This is us just looking at cards, asking questions like any investigation, you know, um, not specifically the kind of questions that may be a police investigation, but when you're looking at a case, you have to look at all angles, at people. Jackie
going?
and I have had some recent discussions lately, and maybe trying not to mention too specifically people, but in this case, there is a specific person, and again, whatever we discuss or we think the cards are saying is all alleged. It's not out of disrespect. We haven't been contacted by the families of Patricia or anybody involved. This is just us taking a look and bringing you guys along, for the ride. So, yes, absolutely flowing, creepy and criminal. Yes, cults, exactly. So people are popping in. Hello, Karen. Hello, Viviani. Good to see you.
Hi, girls.
She goes, people call me both ways. My dad used to say, well, just as long as you don't call me late for dinner. So, um, all righty. Anything just that you wanted to add, Jackie? Any little disclaimer or anything of your own, or do you think that fits the bill?
No, I think that, yeah, I think that's
All right.
enough.
So as all y'all can see, this is or was Patricia Lee Partin. This was her after she joined. It is a cult, and Carl. We found out Castaneda, had female followers that all eventually lived in a compound in Westwood, LA, and um, they were encouraged to disconnect from their families for his spiritual teachings. And so these women who were involved, including Patricia, cut their hair, colored it, changed their names. They disconnected from their families. Patricia had been married at the time when she learned about him. Um, Hello, Leah. Fatima. Some people even call me fat short form. I don't. Oh my goodness, that's not nice. But as long as it's all in good fun. Aloha, Jonathan.
Aloha.
6 a.m. Oh, good Lord. Um, so it turns out that just really quick, Carlos Castaneda wrote a whole bunch of books back in the starting I think in the late '60s into the '70s. Had a lot of famous people following him. These women who eventually became part of his cult have been nicknamed the Witches of Westwood. I don't know if they did anything that was technically witchcraft, but I know that according to Castaneda's books and teachings, there was had to do was allegedly, and it was proven that he was a fraud. He made up that he met a spiritual teacher named Native American named Don Juan who taught him the Yaqui ways of shamanism and all this, other spirit Native American spirituality. And this is not a um, how do I this is not a disrespect to Native American spirituality. He did it to me, and to what people can see, he did the disrespect. He got his doctorate or something, on a fake individual. So I don't want to give this energy too much over to him, but just kind of setting up a little bit of the backstory here. So a lot of these women that became his students became his lovers. And what is really kind of gross and creepy is the fact that Patricia, when she joined them, she was actually his lover, but then later on he adopted her as his daughter. And yeah, so she took on, apparently, and I have my little article right here because there's a lot. So she ended up divorcing her husband. She changed her name to Nuri Alexander to be a part of to be his lover and to be a part of his cult. Um, and so in 1995, he legally adopted her as his daughter, and he had been his lover as well.
Gross.
Yeah. So she went into seclusion with him. Um, Witnesses speak of her reverting to a childlike state. There are reports that new followers of he developed, I guess, a philosophy or a spiritual way called tensig, tensegrity.
Integrity.
Tensegrity, thank you. And these people were told to play with her with dolls to keep her in this childlike state. And and she was last seen at a tensegrity. Ten, why can I not pronounce this word?
You could say it yesterday.
Yeah, tensegrity. I want to say gritty because to me it is gritty.
Yeah.
But workshop in Santa Monica a few weeks before Castaneda's death. And Castaneda did end up passing away in May or April of, yeah, it was April of '98.
April, yeah.
He, let's see. So after he died, they could disconnected their phones. Everyone dropped off the grid. Now there were a total of 5 women that we know of that were part of that inner circle with the compound. The other 4 women completely have disappeared. No one knows what their if they had a demise, if they went into hiding, they went into seclusion. The only person that was ever found was Patricia. In early '98 of May, about 2 or 3 weeks after his passing, um, Patricia's car was found abandoned in the Panamint Dunes in Death Valley, California, which is an extremely hot and dangerous location. Um, so they're automatically assuming that she must have done something, but near the spot where her car was found. So it wasn't until 2003, not far from where her car had been found. And why they didn't go out looking for her in the first place, I don't know. But some hikers came across some human remains, some bones, and when they reported it, they had a feeling that it was her. It took a while for the bones to be, because it was only a partial skeleton. I don't believe they said her head was there. I don't see that
Yeah.
here necessarily in the article.
No head.
But there were just, but the thing is that the skeleton was half found, half buried. So Jackie and I were discussing yesterday. Um, Allison 98. Wait a minute, was it May or June? June. And no, April.
No, he died
Excuse
in
me.
April, yeah.
Yeah.
They announced it in June.
And then they announced it in June. Okay.
Yeah.
And so Jackie and I were kind of curious. They're like, well, we know after so many years, the wind and stuff can, blow sand around and can bury stuff. But it just seemed kind of odd to us. It was half buried, but so we don't know if it necessarily. They didn't use the term shallow grave. They just said it was half buried. So we were really not quite sure at that point. Really what to make of that, but just all that was left was a few bones, some shreds of pink jogging pants. They're thinking that she had taken her life. That was the leading theory, and she's the only one that has been found. No one has heard or seen from that we know of from the other women, and we won't be looking at the other women. But I do believe, like Ian, I think Jackie and I were going to go ahead and just pull cards to see if any of maybe what happened to the other women as a collective, as a whole. And so, okay, I'm getting the rest of the other women here. Okay, so let me just pull her up here so that and he did, yes, so I know Allison likes the dates for astrology. So he died April 27th, 1998 of liver cancer in Los Angeles. And his followers, even though the article calls them witches, in this article too, they described them as disciples. But she was 41 when she went missing. And that's what I have on her. So let's see. Oh, what's this about Cash Peters?
Who's he when he's at home?
Cash Peters has him on one of his channels on his passage after he died. Oh, really? You've heard of Cash Peters, right?
No.
He's been in the not in our circle, but he was like one of the main people that came out and started doing the he does political readings, but he doesn't pull cards. He gets images and he draws them with stick figures and his way of drawing. And he describes what he goes in and he sees in his pictures. And then he also does things where people pass, and it's kind of like his spiritual team, his way of being able to see, it kind of shows how people, what they kind of thinking or what they feel when they're going through their transition and going into it's really he's very good. I don't watch him too often just because of the politics and all, but and yes, Nancy, I'm glad you're feeling better, my dear. If anyone can continue sending Nancy a lot of healing energy and vibes. She had some eye surgery, cataract surgery yesterday.
Wow.
Just keep sending Nancy all that wonderful, yummy energy. You haven't heard of him either. Okay, so yeah. So that's interesting flowing. You'll have to let me know later on if if he's aware of this cult following that he had. Just making sure I didn't miss anybody and there were any other, Leah, pretty much creepy, just downright. It's kind of like, Scientology and all, they tell people to disconnect from their families. I mean, it's just, yeah. And when you're using spirituality, something, I mean, that's like the heart of us being human is our spirituality,
And much like Scientology, they didn't believe you should get sick. So like, Kirstie Alley, when she had cancer, like they're not allowed to go to the doctor. They have to go back in and do more or these brainwashing sessions they do or whatever to try and cleanse themselves, So I'd imagine it was the same with him. There was probably some drama within the cult when he got sick too,
Yeah. And he knows about the cult. Okay. That'll be an interesting watch later on. And I asked Chance, so are you going to get rid of his books now? He's like, no. What? And he's like, no. He goes, there's some information in here that he wrote that I find. And I'm like, okay, to each their own.
Jonathan said he has some too.
Yeah, they were very popular. And, like with Lynn B. Andrews, she did something similar, and people are, kind of through. I mean, she has her followers and stuff. I don't think it's not cult like, Castaneda. But, there's some people that say that, she lies as well, or she doesn't really give back to the Native community or the indigenous peoples. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's sad because that's, you can really destroy a person when
Yeah.
you attack spirituality, because that's like basically sometimes that's all that they have. And when you have that kind of a faith and someone doesn't, I mean, it's just it's evil. It's demonic to me. To me, that's like a demonic thing to do.
Can you just remind me
Sure.
one thing? Did she go missing 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after his death? Because I thought we said before yesterday,
Yeah, we
but
were
you said
looking. It was interesting that we were getting interesting cards, but it says here at the time she went missing. Wait a minute. The 70s was her then. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me just move up a little bit more here. Okay, so she was last seen at a workshop in Santa
oh
Monica a few weeks before his death.
yes, okay.
After the leader died, which you say people didn't know until June,
They didn't
but
announce it until June,
but
yeah.
I don't know if this article is referring to May when he first did, or this is referring to June. But it says here that
Okay.
after the leader died, Partin and the other women close to him closed down and left the Los Angeles compound where he had lived and suffered through his final illness. They disconnected their phones and essentially dropped off the grid. And it was in May when they found Partin's car, but no other sign of the other women since.
Okay.
So yeah, because we were wondering, Jackie and I were kind of wondering, you know, um, if she had, if she had died or if any of them had died, but if they already closed the compound, then, but
Yeah.
yet she
That'd be
wasn't
weird.
seen. So there's not really any, and back then they didn't have the kind of like technology we have now where there's freaking cameras
Yeah,
everywhere, Big
yeah.
Brother, constantly watching. Um, so
She was last seen anyway 2 weeks before he died, so at least we know that.
yeah, so whether or not, you know, but Jackie and I got some interesting cards. We already went ahead and pulled some cards to her questions yesterday, and I'm going to find the ones for my first one. So if you want to go ahead and share yours, because the first, or here, I'll let you just read the question because
Yeah.
that's
So I have the questions written out and I wrote down they ran off to the desert, Flowing said. So I wrote down the questions that we asked and the cards that I pulled, and I have them here in order, just so that we can show them and kind of. Are we going to ask people after each question to kind of give their views or anything, or are we going to wait till the end or what? Just so I know.
let's get through a couple, and then
Okay.
let's get through our questions, and then we'll see what people
Yeah. Great job.
Um, so the first question, that's you.
So the first question was, what was the energy of Patricia when she went missing? Okay. So bear in mind, this is 2 weeks before his death. Well, it was the last time she was seen, so effectively that's what we were going on, that she went missing. So I got the King of Cups and the World card. Now I would see him as being the King of Cups because apparently he was very oh God, what's the words, Heather? Do you know, very charming and all that kind of thing. Obviously,
Charismatic, and yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
he was her lover, so
yeah. Do you know, he lured all these poor unsuspecting women into the cult and got them to cut off their families and change their names and change their look and their everything, just so that they couldn't be contacted, and obviously didn't leave them out of the compound and all the rest of it. So this, I would see the King of Cups as him, just having that overly emotional connection with people, and able to brainwash them, and it being the energy of Patricia when she went missing. I would see it that it was his charming, charismatic energy that kind of ended her existence, let's just say, for argument's sake, because it's a world card, so it is the end of a cycle. And I mean, it is in this card, it's not normally obviously a couple, but and I haven't read this story yet, but in this card it is a very happy, loving couple. So I did kind of get the sense that it was like him having brainwashed her into
thinking that was, yeah.
doing something, you know. So yeah, that's what I got for that first question.
Okay, and for me, I got Knight of Pentacles, and for me, this when she went missing, for me, this is kind of like this could have been, again, we don't know exactly when she went missing. We don't know if something happened to her prior, and they drove her in her car to the location, did what. That's still, quite not sure how that all worked. But I did get the Knight of Pentacles, and what what stuck out to me is sticking to the plan, steady progress, and just do it.
Yeah.
The hush was about being, prepared, being thoughtful. So at the time she went missing, it just feels like, okay, we're sticking to the plan. This is what we're going to do. And I'm feeling that this is her energy. Like she felt ahead of time because she was, I'm going to make an assumption here. I don't think it's too far off, but because she was his lover and adopted daughter, for me that would be like she felt she was his immediate, she was before everybody else. So for me, and I think Jackie, you and I agreed on this a little bit later, she may have felt like she was going to take over the role. We're going to stick to the plan, we're going to continue his teachings. I got Two of Pentacles, juggling responsibilities, finances. He just passed or he's getting ready to pass. I have all this juggling I have to do, things I have to figure out. But then we get the tower moment. Hey, Tom, thanks for work looking. So we get a tower. So it feels like what she thought was going to be the plan, actually, falsehood, rude awakening, a shock, a disruption. So this could very well be things falling through. The others coming to her and saying no. I mean, for all we know, she may have been under the assumption that he had lied to her, and he may have told her, this is what you're going to continue to do. But his instructions possibly, not fact, but possibly could have been to other people, other males or individuals in his little cult, or publishers or whatever. Maybe his lawyers might have been like, no, this isn't what, just going to let her lead her on. But whatever it was a shock. It just struck her. Her life came crashing down, and the underall energy I got was the earthly power. So this is having to spiritually contain the situation, tight hold and protecting the assets, and basically, like with Hush, standing guard over what you created. So I just feel like this is what she wanted to do, but unfortunately, she had one of those moments. And hello, Viviani, my dear. I'm going to take a quick sip.
Do.
Although I'm almost out. I'm going to... Here, I'm just going... No, let me just back out and grab another cup or have him make me another cup.
Do, girl.
I'll be back, girl.
You better be.
Carry on.
I'm going to go on to the next question without her, lads. When she stops putting on her fake Irish accent in the background. So question number 2 we had, right, was what was her emotional or mental state when she went missing? Now, very interesting. And lads, I'm loving this new deck because it is beautiful. I have 2 major arcanas. So we have the Sun and the Hermit. I'm just going on to question 2 without you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So the Sun card here, this is very cleverly, obviously, the sun god Ra, but I often see this kind of image as it, like in the Judgment card in Egyptian decks, whereby it is kind of like the ferryman taking the mummified deceased person off into the afterlife, So, and here we have the Hermit, and this is the only Hermit, obviously, where there's another figure in it. And this is an Irish story. This is the white stag leading the Hermit off into the sunset again, kind of a thing. So her emotional and mental state with these 2 cards would be, to me, that this totally gave me vibes of him luring her off out into the whatever woodsides or wherever she was found, side of a mountain, was it, or something, in the promise of going to a new, better life, kind of a thing, again, him brainwashing her and her following him, not questioning anything he was saying, obviously, and whatnot, because they all thought he was some sort of a god. So that was her emotional and mental state, was just her totally in awe of him, believing everything and just following blindly where he said. to go. So yeah. You're on mute, girl. I can't hear you.
I forgot to put you on the big screen. Did you get?
Oh, it's
Did
all
everyone
right.
get a good look at your cards?
She still saw them, didn't she, lads?
All right. That's a beautiful deck. I told Jackie, I can't get afford another deck. I keep seeing this deck.
It is.
Good Lord, between
Hey,
Tom and Ramon and you, it's just kind of like, especially last night. There's 2 more decks now because of Ramon that I want to get.
Oh, Ramon.
Hashtag Ramon made me do it. Okay, so what was Pat's emotional, mental state at time of disappearance? Well, I kept getting this a lot for her. Let me just kind of take the banner off because now people can see. Hold on a second.
Put yourself on the big screen, sure.
Well, I don't have to. People can see this, right?
Oh yeah, they can, yeah.
Yeah. So I kept getting this, the 9 of Pentacles, and even Jackie at one point, we both got it in our same reading. Was that the one just now that you had the 9 of Pentacles too?
No, it's another one.
There was another one. Okay, but it's interesting that this keeps coming up because to me, this feels like the compound, her marriage with him, her relationship with him, including his finances, his spiritual teachings, everything was her garden. This was enjoying the fruits of labor, her comfort, her leisure. I really felt like she felt she was going to continue moving forward. I got the Ace of Wands also, new endeavors, potential. For me, this was all about and motivation. She was motivated to carry the torch, to continue carrying the torch for him and his teachings. I also had the 7 of Pentacles, however, success unfulfilled. She was trying to put time and effort in. She was reaping some reward. She was being patient, but it just, again, unsuccess fulfilled. And then the bottom card, I got the self-restricted, the victimhood, isolated. Now I know this card is typically, us putting ourselves into that mental, that mental lockdown. But to me too, this also feels like that part of that was all him and his teachings putting her in that mental, the other women. And it just felt like at the end when she wanted to do all these things moving forward, they just bound her. They kept her, this just was not going to happen, so being restricted, not being, and this could be also physically being restricted and unable to move, as well. So that's what I got for that question. And let's see. Hello, Karen. And I think it's this Sunday, Karen, you and Ramon going up against each other for the next tarot. What's the word? When you go and look, scavenger hunt.
Oh, yeah.
With Hershey and Tom. So they're the next ones coming up. Keep an eye out. I believe it's this weekend. So that'll be fun. Just want to give a little shout out for that. And all right, girl, what's the next question?
So, question number 3. Did she have any known enemies, threats, or conflicts?
I got some interesting cards on this one.
Yeah. Well, I had I always do 2 cards, top and bottom of the deck, but I'm just going to show you one first. The Wheel of Fortune in this deck is and again, I haven't read the story yet. I don't know who this person is, but it's a person with 4 arms and 4 legs. So this would immediately suggest to me that there was someone else who had a hand in. And then look what the second card is. Wrong way. Her death. It's the death card. Do you know? So Care Bear said, I think it's Saturday, June 8th.
Okay.
So yeah, these 2 would suggest to me that there was someone else that had a hand in her death. So, someone who did have conflicts. And it could, I mean, I did have the thought as well, like I was going to say Rain, like Heather said, that maybe she did think she was going to take over and continue it for him. But maybe I definitely think he wasn't going to have any of that because he was a man's man and women were obviously hugely less superior. They were just humans who did what he told them to, kind of a thing. So I don't think he would have let that happen, but it could quite possibly be allegedly entertainment purposes only. What the cards have kind of said in different questions, that maybe maybe he had the other ones have a part in it. Maybe, who knows? I'd say we'll never know anyway. But yeah. Oh, you have a Care Bear. Oh, nice one. Do you have the book that came with it, or do you have the big storybook?
I'm looking for a card. Did you see what Ramon said? Hashtag
did.
Ramon made me do it.
I did.
For my last deck, it was Ginger and Allison with the Hush Tarot. I'm trying to find. I thought I had all my cards pulled. I can't find my Queen of Wands, but everybody knows what the Queen of Wands looks like and who she's all about. But this isn't your Snuffles version of the Queen of Wands in this deck. So for me, this really made sense to me this morning. I don't have the Queen of Wands, but picture this, if you will. Kind of like how Prince started his song. Picture this, if you will. I did get the Three of Cups. So here's three women, followed by the Empress. To me, I feel like this is, this might have been Patricia, but actually I'm going to digress back. Actually, the Queen of Wands to me also felt very Patricia, because she wanted to carry the torch. That's what I'm feeling. Again, for entertainment purposes only, this is alleged. I feel like she wanted to continue the school. She wanted to continue the teachings. She wanted to be the leader of the group. And I'm feeling that this could be her, or the Queen of Wands could have been one of the other women, because when you added my three cards together, you have 3, you have 4, and then the Queen of Wands was 5. A total of 5 women went missing at the time of his death. So for me, if I have to kind of feel what, I feel like she might have been more of the Queen of Wands, wanting to take that, that role, and wanting to lead, be the leadership moving forward. And so to me, I felt like this was, there was a conflict, I have to say. So I'm sorry, I was seeing Jonathan's comment, and but it's all good. So I had pulled a couple more cards. So to go with those 5 women cards total, I got the strife again, 5. So 5 women. There's the strife, and then what else did I get? I got the tower. So again, yes, I think that somebody within the ranks, so to speak, decided, this isn't what's going to happen, whether it was it was separate from the women, or one of the women, or all of them. But there was somebody in the ranks that went ahead and said, no, not happening. And there's tower moment again, the tower card. So
thanks for that, Jonathan. That makes total sense, that it's an Nancy, a trickster god, leading to her death. Makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jonathan, thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. I could have read that in the guidebook, but I didn't.
I know sometimes we just can't wait to start just using the cards,
Yeah.
On so. Alrighty, on to the next.
So, did she leave on her own? So I got the 9 of Pentacles and the 2 of Wands. And this 2 of Wands is from Roman mythology, Janus. I'm hoping that's the correct pronunciation, but it's simply spelled Janus, so I can't see any other way of pronouncing it. But anyway, he was the god of doorways and something else. I forget what the other word is. But anyway, here he is looking to the past and looking to the future, and there he has one wand, but he also has a key to that doorway to the next stage, So Like, I would see this as her leaving her, well, what she thought was a great life, a 9 of cups or 9 of pentacles life, and following him. He's also a spider god known to change the fortunes of those around. Oh, okay. And he certainly changed her fortune, all right, anyway, I reckon. But yeah, so did she leave alone? No, I don't think so. I think she followed him, and I would see this as him kind of keeping an eye out to make sure that we're not being followed and whatnot.
Yeah, but he was so sick, I don't think he was able to leave. So if she was let out, it was by somebody else, maybe under, his direction.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
maybe the women just conspiring amongst themselves, that.
yeah.
But like Jackie, I also did get the Knight of Pentacles. And for me, again, for me, this feels very much the compound, her home, the place that she built with him. Um, so, which she, you know, necessarily, well, they all left, supposedly they left together. And I think this might have been planned because I got the Knight of Pentacles. So they had made a plan, they were sticking to it. They're just going to go ahead and move forward. They were prepared. I mean, they knew he was passing, and they went ahead and they shut everything down. Whether she was a part of the other four when everything was shut down, or even if all of them. This is the thing: is we don't know who was pulling the strings behind the scenes when it comes to their disappearance. But the overall energy of that is the Death card. So,
Wow.
when did she leave on her own? I don't think so. I think that she thought they were sticking to the plan, or this is what we were going to do. But then the outcome to me is the
Yeah.
Death card. So yeah, there's just too much. Too many moving parts behind the scenes. Going on with this and the people involved. I mean, maybe later on, either in this show or another one, we can look at the other women as a group as a whole, or even him himself. I don't think, we can get in trouble because people are doing videos on him talking about this anyways, as long as, we can continue with, the entertainment purposes only. But yeah, I'm a mythology nerd. Okay. But that's great knowing that because you just really helped,
Yeah.
Clarify or not clarify, but validated.
Yes, that's the word.
Cards and what we've been getting. So yeah,
Yeah.
names are hard for me. Yeah. So,
And he even told me the other word for the god Janus, god of doorways and transitions was the word I couldn't think of. So yeah, her transitioning to her next phase. Makes sense. So, question number 5. What went on in the 3 months before she went missing?
I have 2 cards for that.
So I have... You're all right, girl. I have the Queen of Swords and the King of Wands. Now we have the element of air and the element of fire. And if you think about it, if you blow air into a fire, it ignites it. So I totally got the word conflict when I saw these 2 cards together anyway. I don't know what star signs either of them were, but that's irrelevant because it's a woman and a man. So I just saw it as the 2 of them. And because we'd already kind of come to our own conclusion, let's say, that she may have felt she was taking over once he'd pass. And I totally reckon, like I said, that he wouldn't have had any of it, that would never have happened. So these 2 screamed to me of kind of arguments between the 2 of them in the few months before she went missing, do you know? So yeah. There's just so much I wish I remembered what I learned in college. Isn't it funny? They teach us kind of bits of these things in school, mythology and whatnot, and you've no interest. And then as soon as you're a fully grown adult, you want to remember all the stuff they taught you. Crazy, isn't it?
So just said, hey, Jonathan, that would be a great show talking about mythologies around the world.
Ooh.
That would be fun. Maybe we can arrange a date
Yeah.
and maybe go through that deck. And I would
Yeah.
love to learn about mythology.
Ooh, and Jonathan can teach us all the stories.
Yes.
Nice one.
Okay.
We've made a plan, Jonathan, for you.
Yes. What do you think you're doing? No, you're not doing that. You're doing this, but no. So for me, what was 3 months prior?
Yeah.
I think stuff that she wasn't aware of for me personally. I remember having to pull a couple more cards, but I just dwindled it down to these two because they just said the message the strongest. I did get the Seven of Swords. Deception. Stolen ideas. Schemes being made. Now, whether this was maybe her scheming and doing these things behind the other women's back, that could be a possibility too. That's something that, that maybe I don't think we even thought about looking at but maybe a lot of this is something that maybe she was planning that the other women weren't privy to. Or this could be them knowing what she was doing, and this was what was going on behind the scenes, unbeknownst to her. I got the Five of Pentacles. And so spiritually bankrupt, that one really jumped at me on my one book. Poor health. This card could also represent the poor health that Castenada was in as well. But this was 3 months prior to all this. So he was in the process at this time of passing. And so this could have been too him also scheming and putting things in place because of this individual of who he was. But there was just a lot of scheming, a lot of the pentacles. A lot of my readings all have pentacles in it. So it has to do with spirituality and money. So unfortunately, the greed and, coming through financial loss. I don't know if they were concerned that she planned taking all the money, all of his, because he's still selling books. He's still, whoever his heirs are or his foundations are, they're still making money off of his publishers are still making money. So there's royalties that got to go somewhere. So perhaps they just didn't want to be, they were concerned she was going to take it all away from them. And it was schemed, that, we got to do something so that she doesn't do that. That's that potential in there too.
Yeah.
So, well, Viviani likes the sound of the mythology. Flowing says, I would like,
yeah.
Plus the two faces on that card, Jackie jumped out at me, changing her face. Interesting.
I know, right?
Well, Jonathan, one of these mornings when you're awake enough, maybe you should join Jackie and I for a show. That would be great. So that all your that would be fun. Okay. Next question, girl.
So, what was happening in the days before she went missing?
I have the questions here, but I just give that over to you.
So I get to talk.
So she gets to talk. I don't want to be one of those who you just like that, and the other person's just sitting there going. I try not to.
Pick me. Oh, hello. My daughter is here.
Your good little child. What do you like to say?
Jesus. I just found her stash of chocolate. Go on, get out. Close the door.
Ooh. Gotta share now, Natalie. You got the
Close the door. Good Lord. Jonathan said, wait, there was 5 women, right? Yes, there was. Maybe they didn't want to split the inheritance 5 ways. Easier to split it 4 ways.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All total of 5 women, and 1 is found, and the other 4 are still missing. And those yeah, that's what I'm saying. All comes to do with money and greed.
Yeah, but why would 4 decide to only get rid of 1?
Because I know again, Patricia was the one that was his quote unquote
his special one. Yeah.
And she was his wife and daughter. Ugh.
Gross. Yeah, I know.
So maybe that gave her special status over the others.
Yeah.
Well, just to interject really quick, and anybody with, who comes from, you know, an established religion. This is not, you know, meant to discredit, but we all know that, you know, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, the disciples, were jealous because Jesus favored
Oh,
Mary to continue on his spiritual, you know, legacy and teachings and moving forward. So maybe this was something similar. He wanted her to continue, thank you, changing, I mean, continuing moving forward, and they didn't like it, and they had something to do. You know, that could be it also. Hi, Lottie B.
hey, Lottie. Yeah, Jonathan is saying the fact that you would pull the 5 of Pentacles there and there was 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it, there's 1 Pentacles higher than the other 4. Yeah,
Yeah.
very interesting. Thanks, Jonathan.
And there's a pentacle higher than the others.
Yeah.
Look at you, Jonathan. And
Huh.
yes. Oops.
Very
Hello,
interesting.
Lottie.
So what was happening in the days before she went missing? So I have the Knight of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles. So the 7 of Pentacles here, well, any 7 of Pentacles, looking at what you already have growing and kind of deciding if it's been worth it and if you should keep growing what you're growing, or if you should kind of start again if it's not kind of effective enough for you, you know. And the Knight of Pentacles, to me, I always say it was my baby steps night. It's about careful planning and like not charging forward like a Knight of Swords or Knight of Wands, obviously, but taking the time and planning. He's the slowest moving knight. So just really putting the work in, checking over your crop, making sure it's all working out well enough for you and stuff. So what was happening in the days before, I'd say, was just her probably just doing the work, thinking, of course, that she wasn't going to go missing, you know, and putting in the groundwork for herself, thinking she was going to be taken over upon his death, you know. So yeah.
No, you're not psychic or anything, Jonathan.
No.
Yeah, not the least bit. No, it's interesting because Jackie got the slowest moving knight. And for
Yeah.
me in this question, I got the fastest moving knight. And of course, you know, they're, you know, attacking problems swiftly, moving in, fast action, quick thinking, analytical thinking, just loving debating. And the word was debating, and for me, that could very well be arguments. And I just wanted to clarify for this court card. And what did I get again? I got the Tower. So days before, this is where Jackie and I started going, I'm thinking maybe they took care of her or she actually ended up becoming deceased before, you know, within the compound because of this being just days before she was quoted, you know, officially being missing. This might have been action taking place behind closed door. And what was really sad underneath was, even though the card says perfect successes, they accomplished what they wanted to do, you know, with her and the situation, whoever was involved. This also feels like this is what she thought moving forward. They were going to be a family. And unfortunately, that is not what happened. And so for me, those cards were very straightforward. And again, I would like to put, maybe if we have time at the end of the show, just pull like a couple cards just on the other women as a whole and just see if they were the ones that had planned this or if they didn't see it coming and he had that planned.
Yeah.
Allegedly for entertainment purposes only.
So then we have, I have to find one of my other cards now. Hold on.
Yeah, this was like the hour before or the day of, because the hour before day of is kind of.
So next we have, what happened in the hour before she went missing.
Who's
Virgo? Oh, yes, Virgo. Yeah. I'm with you. Right. So what happened in the hour before she went missing? Queen of Wands. I have a 9 of Pentacles. So again, you see this Queen of Wands would tie in with her having the plans in her head to take it over for him, you know. Not that she was kind of, I certainly don't think she was kind of looking forward to him passing and her getting to take over, but just being his kind of head disciple as such, slash wife slash adopted daughter and all that creepy crap.
Creepy crap.
Nice way of saying it.
Yeah.
But just that she, like, a lot of coins, yeah. But just that she had the plan to be the entrepreneur and to take over and carry on all the hard work that he had put into building this weird, creepy crap cult. That Queen of Wands is the goddess Pele. I'd recognize her anywhere. She is. I do remember seeing that in the guidebook. They're unreal images. I just love this deck. The colors are divine. I love it. So yeah, in the hour before, and you see this would tie in with, like, remember I had the Hermit card where I said I saw him luring her off somewhere, or whoever did it, like, but that would tie in with, like, him saying, "Oh, come on, let's go out here and discuss you taking over," or whatever. So her still in this Queen of Wands kind of energy, thinking it was going to be handed down to her and that she was going to keep the cult going. Well, I know they didn't obviously see it as a cult, but keep the business going for him.
Yeah.
But obviously that wasn't to be.
Yes, and I cannot find my King of. Where's my King of Cups?
I don't know.
There you are. Oh. The one guy that they use for this deck for the Kings, he looks kind of like Jason Momoa.
Oh yeah.
So where's my Jason Momoa? Alrighty, I had a couple. Did I get the other one? No. So let's see here. I'll just put this up here where I am looking for that, and okay, I got all the cards now.
We'll read that there while you're looking for your cards.
That's beautiful. So for me, the hour or / day of oh boy, the Princess of Swords. She had all these new ideas. Wait, we can do this. It's also about idealistic.
Yeah.
She wanted to pick up the sword. She wanted to take up the sword again, continue moving forward. However, this came to be. She ended up having to defend herself, having to try to create boundaries, trying to get away from others. And if I had pulled out from the Tarot of the Haunted House, this would have been a whole bunch of people in cloaks coming at her with blazing torches. So this is very much defending herself, trying to self-defend herself. Then the card in the middle was the Magician. So the manipulator who was manipulating this situation, who was very skillful. I'm thinking this may have very well been him, because then the next card I have is the King of Cups. And again, to me, this represents Carlos. This is, her husband, her spiritual other, in this household. And the card that came along with that was Sorrow, the Three of Swords. So I'm thinking that, this is what she felt she was going to do. But then behind the scenes, the manipulation, all the tools right there, everything all in place. And who she thought, that's why I'm feeling like maybe he might have been involved in a lot of this, because he ended up because he was considered, they were called the Witches of Westwood, which I don't know if they would really be properly called that. People love to use the word witch for just about everything under the sun, especially because they don't know really what the word witches represents. But whether, they did do any sort of sorcery, magic, there's that element right there that was being done. It could, and I also remember, Jackie, I did get that card from the crime scene. Yep, it was still right there. Strange phenomena involved. So people may not believe in magic or the power of magic to actually make people do things or things to happen to people. But I do. And if these people really believed in and did this type of magic, this type of evil sorcery, something very paranormal also could have been involved in with her death or the manipulation of other people to create the
Yeah.
disappearance of these women and her death as well. And I did have, I think, one more card. Yeah, for the magician, I wanted to pull clarifier. And again, this is like the fourth time I got the tower card came up. So that was the tower. That was the tower moment where I think they all realized, or at least she did, of the betrayal. Hey TK, what's up? Blowing up the chat, TK, with the hugs. It's like I look up and I see a sea of purple. Oh no, wait a minute, there's Jonathan. So, but yeah. The more I think we look at our cards, girl, I'm feeling like he had his hand in this.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. I think
he
so.
knew all along when he got sick that this is what was going to happen.
Yeah. Because just to backtrack very quickly, if you think about it, right, what happened in the hour before she went missing? Remember, I had the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles, which were nice cards. They're positive cards. You know, this is her thinking she was going to take over the business, keep it going, and all that, right? But the next question, what happened the moment she went missing? Now, bear in mind, she was found with no skull, right? And this Page of Swords is this beautiful young page holding this massive machete. So that screamed the obvious to me. I'll let you figure that out in your own brains. And then we have the Eight of Swords, you know. So
I think we're allowed to use the word dismemberment, at least that, you know.
are we?
I think it's better than the other.
They know anyway, you know.
Yeah.
No skull, big machete.
Yeah. Like an algebra question. I'm sorry.
You know, to go from this the hour before to this at the time she went missing is quite a massive jump. So I totally think there was, and you were just there talking about kind of rituals and sorcery and all sorts. So that would totally tie in with these two cards, you know. So enough said, I think.
I'm confused now.
One.
Because the next question in my list was Patricia with somebody. Was that the cards for that?
No, there's a number 8 was what happened the moment she went missing. So there was 3 months before, the days before, the hour before,
I didn't
and
do the moments.
Oh, didn't you? I thought you did.
Unless I accidentally added all those cards up and those were supposed to be hours.
Oh, maybe.
I think I did that. I combined them, I think.
We definitely did it.
My bad. But it's very similar. It's the same, you know, it's following the same narrative.
Oh, yeah.
What happened.
Yeah. I mean, the tower alone would kind of tie in with that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Because we had both gotten the Page of Swords.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, alrighty, I'm trying to find.
So, right, the next one was she alone or with someone?
Yeah.
So I have to find oh yeah, there it is. Okay. I just have to backtrack to find the first card I had. Was she alone or with someone when she went to her, or when she went missing?
Yeah.
So I have, oh my god, the Hermit and the Hermit and the Seven of Wands. Here. So again, like I already said, with this Hermit, there's not just one person in it. There's the stag is leading the Hermit, because in this Colette, well, I can't even talk. Colette Baron Reed's Spirit Animal Oracle, the white stag cards, the little caption is "Follow the lead." So I would totally see this like as him leading her off and out into the woods or the mountainside or wherever it was that she was found. And then again with that Seven of Wands look, I mean, that's a fella with a hammer trying to hammer nails into rocks, you know. So I do not believe she was alone. I believe she was lured to her death, basically, you know. So yeah.
And the stags are also known as the monarchs of the forest. They're like the king of the forest.
Oh.
So following the king, following your man,
Yeah.
yep, follow the leader.
Well, yeah.
So I have, and this is again,
Put yourself on the big screen.
oh yeah. So I'm thinking, I keep getting this card, and I'm thinking, my feelings is that he was a part of this whole plan,
Yeah.
and whatever, of what entailed. Um, Again, I can't say that, she didn't, you know, um, take her life on her own. It might have been just, maybe they found out upon his death that, hey, y'all are getting nothing, or you're not doing this or that, and that may have driven the other women to just leave, and for her to take the extreme measures and do that maybe to herself, because she was like in shock and her world was falling apart, and she felt maybe that was, her way out. That's another possibility too. But again, I got the King of Cups. So for me, this represents him to her, um, in these readings. So was she with somebody? So again, the King of Cups, somebody she loved, somebody she trusted, someone who, was, basically the love of her life. And it's interesting, in a lot of these readings, we've gotten very little cups with emotions and stuff. It's all been pentacles. It's been all about money and spirituality, making money off, the books, off the teachings. There's been very little, you know, emotion. It's just been very, very cold and very just money oriented. I did get the Knight of Wands, and what stands out for me with the Knight of Wands is that, when we had Sasha Graham on, she says for her, the Knight of Wands is somebody is like who's holding the torch for somebody.
Oh yeah.
Whether they're holding the torch, they're in love with somebody, or holding the torch because they honor, respect, or they work for them. It's kind of like, that chivalrous knight, almost kind of like, always at the ready to, how can we creatively take care of the situation, or how can we creatively move in and take care of this. So I'm feeling like that could have, again, another representation of him for her. These two cards being Carlos, possibly. And then the last card I have that was underneath, I got the Hierophant, which is what? Tradition. This is about the teachings. This is about the school, the tensegrity, or whatever you want to call it.
And the cult
thing, the cult. So again, and people bowing before him. He was. This is what I dictate. This is what, and she very well thought she was going to, take this place. But for me, was she was somebody. I've got the feeling that at some point, his involvement and or his presence or name or something to do with him was present in some shape or form during the during what happened to her, whether he was physically there or if it was in a written statement, or if it was being carried out by somebody else. It could have been even maybe he did a last will and testament on a video. And how sometimes people do a recorded video and then they play it and then you find out that way. I mean, they had the VHS back then, so that's really, not far-fetched either. So let me just see. Okay, so TK giving out a lot of hugs. TK, maybe next time, a couple people per hug. Get several people into one hug. But you're so loved and appreciated, Teresa. You really are. So, okay, just making sure there weren't any comments. Alrighty. If you don't have anything else.
So, oh yeah, we asked, what does she want us to know about her passing?
Yeah, these cards made sense to me.
And I had, again, two majors, the Emperor and the Star. So I would see the Emperor obviously as him, being the guy who ruled them all and whatnot. And the Star card, and because, again, where are we here? He has
sorry.
Oh no, you're right. He has a huge sword in this Emperor card. So I immediately saw it as like him cutting her hopes and dreams, for the future. Being that we reckon she wanted to take it over, and he just went, no, that's it, you're done. So yeah, what does she want us to know about her passing? So this to me was just her telling us that he put a stop to her hopes and dreams of becoming the new leader. Do you know?
Yep.
It was my way or the highway, me or
Mhm.
nothing. Do you know?
So the first card, just made me sad because we have to remember too, she took on the role as the child also.
Yeah.
And I got the Fool card. That was her first message, the Fool card. I was naive. I was,
Mm.
I took that leap of faith. I had faith in him. I was gullible, and I followed him to the edge. I was willing to follow
Wow.
him wherever, he wanted
Yeah.
me to go.
Mm.
Leaving everything behind. She left her all these women, they left their family behind. They left their own identity behind. They gave themselves new names. They cut and changed their hair, changed their appearance. So for her, the Fool card is, I was on this new adventure, but I was naive. I was gullible. I got the Princess of Swords. She says, I really wanted to learn. Again, there's that young childlike energy. She wanted to learn. She wanted to, learn as much because she believed in him. She trusted him. She believed in what he said. She believed in his word. And she wanted to continue the studies. She wanted to continue exploring, the spiritual possibilities. Possibly, even, the type of magics he might have promised her to be able to learn. And so this is just, you know, looking back now, she says, looking at this, being studious, meticulous, she wishes she had seen what was going on. Again, this card came up. This is all she wanted was the happiness, the perfect success, the perfect family. She felt she had her family. She felt she had her world, that this was her calling and that this was going to be her and him, forever. And I happened to look at the bottom of the deck and I said, oh my God, I go, Jackie, look what's at the bottom of the deck. And I thought I was going to have to look for it again. But as I looked over, again, it was on the bottom of the deck. I got the devil, where she thought he was, her king of cups. Turns out, he was
Yeah.
the devil, addicted to the greed, the money, the sex, the adulation, the misogyny, the whole not masochism, well, that too, but what they call that with the men, um, machoism or something like that. I can never remember how to pronounce that word, but yeah. So that was, and I think that too represents her as well. She was there was an addiction, a
Yeah.
high that people were getting, learning these, and if they were doing certain magics or having a certain lifestyle and gain, this could very well have and or maybe and the thought of, oh, I'm teaching people, like people going into like place into things like Scientology and stuff. They get excited. Oh, if you come and join us, you're going to be able to help the planet. You're going to be able to help, raise people's spiritual vibrations. You're going to da 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 da, and there was that addiction too of, maybe wanting to help people. So, and hello, Moira, my dear. Thank you for joining us. Jackie, she was a Virgo. Okay.
Jonathan, are you still there? Quick question. Did you tell me my Knight of Coins, Pentacles, was a trickster as well? Because that would make sense for the next question. Macho.
Macho
Chism.
machism, macho
Oh, I don't know.
machism. Yeah, say that a couple times. Man, talk about brainwashing.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see when we're done. If I know, Alice, you got to be pulling cards, girl. You can't resist. I know the poll.
Here with us.
It's the addiction. I got to pull cards. So,
thanks, Jonathan.
Yes. Okay. There you go.
Oh yeah. The next question: does anyone have info on her passing? Because I got the Knight of Pentacles. Well, there we go, and the Nine of Pentacles. So this said to me, oh yeah. So this said to me, it's funny because you're on mute, but you're still there going, making faces and
I'm not
talking.
on mute.
Oh, I thought you were. You did it quietly, so.
Sorry, just messing with her now.
Yeah, hooligan. So, does anyone have info on her passing, the Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles? So, remember, Knight of Pentacles is someone who does careful and meticulous planning. So, there is definitely some well-kept secrets somewhere with someone in order, again, to kind of keep the facade of the cult, you know, to keep people not thinking that it was horrific and disgusting and criminal and all the other words you could think to to describe a cult. So yeah, I do think there is at least someone who has information about it.
Me too. I can't find my Two of Wands.
She hasn't pulled cards.
Oh, wow. Clean the kitchen. Wow. Well, I stand corrected. The planets and stars must be aligned in a certain way. Okay, I can't find. I want to hold everybody up. I could have sworn. But I did get the Two of Wands for me, and in this deck here, it's called Dominion. So this is somebody who, laying out, looking at the world. The world is in his hands. This is my dominion. This is what I say. This is what I do. And so somebody out there definitely knows what these plans are. And I was telling Jackie too, I'm wondering this might be, a representation of the women, if any of them are still alive, or people involved that are out there, the globe, wherever they are in the world. And again, I got the Hierophant. So yes, somebody within the tradition, who's still keeping his teachings going, if the school's still going, obviously the publisher of the books. So somebody knows exactly, what happened. And I had also pulled from the true crime deck. And again, I don't know why they put a cat in here. I'm just going to cover it up. A witness may not be fully disclosing all the facts. So yes, there is somebody there, and it says witness. So somebody was definitely there at her passing. She didn't. I don't think she went alone, or at least were present when she stated or whatever happened. So it is known what happened to her and these other women.
Just before we do our last question, I just got a text from the boys are going to be eating in 15 minutes, so we're allowed to bring them then. So I have 15 minutes.
Okay. So,
my boy child.
Yeah, it doesn't say in the article what date, but it was in 2003. Hikers found her. So, yeah. It might have been in the video. I can't remember, but it was, 4 or 5 years. Oh, that's an interesting again. Wait a minute. 98, 99, 2000, 2001. That's almost 5 years. There's that 5 almost again. Interesting. Yeah. So, did you want to just pull cards really quick to see if the women had any involvement? Or do you want to pass on that?
No, we could do it. I don't mind.
And if anyone has any cards or insights that they want to share, go ahead and put them in, and I'll pop them up and star them. Macho Cheese Mo. Oh, Macho Cheese Mo. That's how you pronounce it, Allison? Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Cheesy. Yeah.
Is Ramon still here? Because I have a question for him, a technical question before I leave.
Ramon. Ramon.
Bring him on the old phone there, will you?
Yeah. So wait a minute. What was I asking? Did the women have anything to do with her passing?
Yeah.
Okay. That is weird. Macho Machismo is the proper word. When was that POS born? Oh God, Allison, I don't know. I didn't look too much into his information because I wanted to give our energy and attention to her, kind of his victim, than him. But he was starting to sell books and do things in the late 60s. So he had to be up there probably in his maybe his 50s, 60s maybe. I'm not sure. But I can always find out. Um, I made my own oracle deck. It's a work in progress. I pulled alone, basement, car, winter, gun, secrets, foreign, lost, and FBI murder, bottom of deck. That's it. Well, to me, the car sound makes sense because her car was first found in 98. And why they didn't do a full-on search for her, because they said later on they found her remains in 2003 in the area where her car was dumped. Well, they must not have really wanted to look very hard for this poor woman. They probably could have found her a lot sooner. A lone basement, I don't know. It's possible. What'd you get, girl?
But like, I mean, she mightn't have died there at all. She could have been killed somewhere else, and then
And
the
then
bones just
dumped.
put there before, not long before.
And drive her there in her own car to make it look like she did it herself.
Do you know?
It's possible.
Yeah. Did the girls have any involvement?
I'm interested to see what you got, because I got something interesting.
So I have the Ace of Cups and the King. Jesus.
Wow.
The Ace of Cups and the King of Pentacles. So you're looking like you have something similar.
Maybe.
I don't know, like I'm getting the feeling that yes, it was all to do with them like filling their own cup and kind of wanting to keep the fortune for themselves with the King of Pentacles, do you know? What do you have? I'm curious. She giggled away. Look,
That card keeps
1925.
He was an old dude. Okay. He died
Gross.
of liver. Yeah. So
Huh?
I got the Two of Swords. A decision had to be made. Okay. And it says interesting here. It says peace on it, like peace as in whatever the decision that was made, they were at peace about it. They were okay with it. I also got the Ace of Cups. However, I wanted to look at the bottom. And at the bottom, the Emperor.
Wow.
And then I just wanted to pull one more card. And again, I got the Nine of Pentacles. So it all stems back to the compound, to the school, to this inner circle. And I'm feeling like this might have been something that he dictated and they were okay with it. And like you said, they were all in on it. But for me, it's just, I'm just wondering still if they didn't know, and if they were victims too. Maybe this Two of Swords represents something that he had decided, and unless and they took care of it, and like you said, it filled their cups and made them happy. It gave them more.
Yeah.
I don't know, but this plays very heavily in my readings for this.
Yeah.
To me, this is the school, the compound, the life that they built there. So, do you still have time for one more?
Yeah.
I would like to know if he himself ordered the disappearance and subsequent death of the women. And we don't know if all the women died, but I would like to ask the cards if he had a direct yeah, if he ordered it, if he had, if he had given orders that, the women were, I'm trying to see how I can say this properly. Yeah, what did he, why is it I can't say it? It's like Spirit doesn't won't it's like I'm not allowed to say it that way. Did he have a hand? Did he, orchestrate?
Oh my God.
Jackie, it's like we're psychic or something. Bye, Allison.
Bye, Allison.
Did he dictate and orchestrate, the disappearance of the woman and,
Of them all. Okay.
of the women? Perfected work. There's the building. There's the foundations. This is all about laying foundations, celebration, perfect work. And then on the bottom, the high priestess. Intuitively, yeah. The wisdom, the knowledge. And the King of Pentacles, Mr. Money. Yeah, I think he had yeah. And then again, there's the Hierophant. Okay, yeah. He had a role in all this, most definitely.
I have, wrong way. Oh my God. The Page of Swords. Maybe if I hold them with the other hand. Page of Swords and the Star card.
Again.
Yeah.
You got those two before for one of the questions. Those were your two cards.
Yeah. What were they for, actually? Hold on now.
It was one of the ones in the beginning.
Oh, I thought they were together. No, they weren't together.
Oh, they weren't together? I could have sworn.
I had the Page of Swords for what happened the moment she went missing. Page of Swords and Eight of Swords.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And the Star was in a different question.
Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, did he what do we say? Orchestrate the disappearance? I would totally see that Page of Swords as him orchestrating it. Oh, bye, Jonathan. Yeah, I would see this as a Page of Swords has been him orchestrating it in order to keep, I suppose, like, how would I say it? Like his hope and dreams would have been him running it forever. But
yeah,
I do believe like that if she thought she was going to take it over, and like I said, he wasn't going to have that happening. So the only other thing he could do was kind of cut them off at the source, get rid of them and then make sure they didn't take over or get any of his money or, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, these would say yes to me anyway.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if she couldn't handle it because she was supposed to be his number one.
Yeah.
Wow, that was interesting. Yes, he was a Capricorn, Karen said.
He was Capricorn.
I just want to ask, we have time for, how much time do you have? Because I don't want to make you late for your boy.
Gotta go. Bye. Bye, Lottie.
Bye, Lottie. Thank you again.
Yeah, I can do one more. I just want to ask a quick technical question, see if anyone knows, right? Because I literally only spotted this for the first time. See, I'm on free StreamYard, right? I don't know if Jonathan is or Ramon, and Ramon seems to be gone anyway. But like up in the top right now here, I never kind of took any notice of it before. It says stream this to your audience. So does that mean I could actually stream it to my own channel?
Mm-hmm.
On the free version?
Because I paid for it.
Oh, okay.
I have the one that, the monthly for like $20 or something, or $30. So if you ever wanted to simulcast, you can do that.
I guess I didn't know I could do that on a free. So that's only if I'm doing it with someone who pays.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Because when I was doing the free subscription, which I might have to go to, I don't know this month, because they're raising our internet, is people would say, well, can I simulcast your channel? I'm like, well, I don't pay for it. They're like, oh, okay. So I don't know if StreamYard's changed that, but yeah, because I paid for it, you can simulcast.
Yeah. Interesting. Right. What are we asking before I go?
Oh my God. I just would like to know if just ask Patricia straight out if she took her own life. I know people are on YouTube are saying, well, did she unaliven herself? I'm like, oh my God, seriously? But
or a Scientologist said drop her body.
Oh, did she drop her body?
Nutters.
Yeah, well. But and it's in a respectful way. I'm just like to know if Patricia was in that state of mind where she took her own.
Would you say, like, to be found without a skull? I mean, it's unlikely she did that herself. Do you know?
Well, you got to remember animals.
I know they come up with those theories, but that depends on how kind of severed it was, whether it could have been an animal or not. Do you know what I mean? And there's no kind of details that would suggest whether it could have been a beheading or an animal attack. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. So what are we just asking? Was she responsible for her own death?
Yeah, was she responsible for her own? Yes.
Yeah. That would be the most respectful way of asking.
Now, according to my cards, because I have, yeses and nos on these, out of my 4 cards, I got 3 yeses and 1 no. But I did get the 4 of cups. They were unhappy. They felt apathy. Again, if you add this up, here's the person 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's that 5 element again. I also did get the Princess of Cups, and the Princess of Cups can be very moody, very emotional. I got the Victory card, which is like a success card. And on the bottom, I got a Swords, which says, I got the Ace of Swords, which is, impulses and new, ideas. So I'm thinking she may have very well have done that herself. And Patricia, no one judges you, sweetheart. Some people don't realize what kind of mental state it's like to be put into where you feel like that's your only way out. I've been there. So much love to you, sweetheart. I hope you're at peace. Good chicken girl.
So bearing in mind I've had this card twice already. So I had it when we asked what happened the moment she went missing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the Page of Swords member. So, and because, like I said, she was found with no skull, I kind of just thought of it as a kind of a ritual kind of a thing, right? Let's just say. And then because I just got it in the question about was he involved in their disappearance or however we said it, and I got the Page of Swords as well, which I saw as him having involvement. And now I'm getting it in our question. Did she was she responsible for taking her own life? So I would say this is a no, just because I was kind of seeing this as him, and here, like, this is someone defending themselves, being attacked from all angles and having to defend themselves. I mean, I know in this image, obviously it's a fellow with a hammer hammering nails into rocks, but I don't know, these would say no to me anyway, because this card has come up in numerous questions already, suggesting that it was someone else, I wouldn't think it was her,
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I also pulled again, and I got 9 of Swords, that mental stress, the anxiety, that pain. I got emotional happiness, which is I feel like she lost that. And then things came full circle for her. I know, that's interesting. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us today. This was a great read. And I like how, Jackie and I were able to get together the day before. We could,
Yeah,
sit, compare our cards, ask, what questions, how we, and then
yeah.
leave it open for any comments after or any additional questions. Um, so I'm just really quick. That's crazy. I just asked if the other women went into hiding. And I got the 3 of
Oh,
Cups.
wow.
That is interesting.
That is cray cray.
That's very cray. She is with him now. Well, I hope not, because why would you want to be with somebody that did that to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes spirits in the afterlife, because they can't address traumas that they experienced or things on Earth. I've learned that's what can sometimes keep spirits from moving on, keep them into one place, keep them from evolving. So, hopefully, especially too with people who have been in cults. I mean, what happened to the poor people of Waco, and then the Heaven's Gate, where they all had the sneakers and they all had the jumpsuits, and they all took their life,
God.
for
Yeah.
for a spaceship, for the mothership. So yeah, it can be very scary. I think he would be possessive. Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Wish Shan would get rid of his books now, but oh well. He says it's just the philosophy he found interesting, not the person. So, but I hope people start seeing these videos, that they point out about him, and maybe that'll
Yeah.
start cutting
Uh,
back on his sales and stuff and whatnot.
uh,
So, already, everybody, thank Jackie. Really quick before I let you go, you got anything planned for this week, the rest of the week, or the weekend
well,
for your channel?
what is happening is I don't know if you know Benny and the Fool's Apprentice. So he had put out a video a couple of months ago. He was
That's right.
basically he was looking for 78 people to present themselves to him to discuss one card. So during the week I was on like a backstage with him, but he was recording. Well, he uses Ecamm, not StreamYard, but he recorded us doing a half-hour video on the card that I was doing with him.
Okay,
Um,
let's
so
type that
that'll
in
be
there for you.
posted. Oh yeah, so that'll be posted mid-July. But we had such fun chatting together that he did ask me if we could do. I
I
think
would
his
love to
series.
meet him. Mm-hmm.
He's brilliant. Get on to him. I think this series is called A Chat With. So he asked me would I do it, because we'd great fun together doing that recording. So we're recording that this Sunday night, and then I presume he'll post it soon enough anyway. But I'll share it anyway, obviously on my So that's not live. He doesn't seem to do lives. I must actually ask him then to come live on my channel for the chats, because he's the
Yes.
nicest fella. Oh my god, I was mad about him.
Maybe we
So
can get him used to, and get him excited. And because Ramon just did his first one
I know.
yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
So, once you dip your toe into that water, believe me, you can't
Send him
you
an
can't get
email,
enough.
Karen, if you're not sure. But I know I know the fact that there's 78 cards. I'd say he must be up the walls with emails and trying to keep track of who's doing what and all
Is
the
he
rest of it.
still accepting people
He's
to
still
join
looking
him?
for ones. So
Oh, okay.
he
I'll
put
have
up
to email
he
him.
put up another video 2 weeks ago. I shared it in my community tab if you want to find it. He put a list in the description box of the cards he still
Is
needs
he still here?
people to come forward for. Oh, Ramona's there.
Yeah. And Karen says
So
I want an oracle deck from him. Oh, that's
do lads
wonderful.
get on to him.
I will
Get
right after
on to
this.
Benny and pick a card to do with him, because he's just so nice. And it's the best idea for a series and everything. It's really good.
Very cool. So just for me, that today's what, Wednesday? I
Wednesday.
might do a pop-up tomorrow. I'm not sure, but Friday nights, me and my girl Allison will be doing our live. And maybe something Saturday if Tom from Early Ritual is available. I like to get back to Saturday night chit chats also with Tom. And then Sunday we have I don't think we have a guest this Sunday for the poetry, but Jeff and I will be back to do our tarot poetry and writings and stuff. So looking forward to that. And again,
Good
everybody,
stuff.
Thank you for joining Jackie and I today, and we'll see you on the next live.
Thanks.
Bye.